Mr. Alterez owned a shop in a rundown part of town, a busy street corner. He sold pencils and stationery and cheap candy. Everyone told him he stayed open too late. There were always teenagers walking by and causing problems. But he wanted to stay open. And one night, a brick went through his window. They had been warned. He had been warned. The next morning, he was sweeping up the glass, aware of every shard of glass that was on the ground. He noticed a young man across the street with his hood over his head, very thin, looked cold. The young man was eyeing the hole in the window. Mr. Alvarez called him over, and the young man didn't want to go, but he reluctantly went across the street. Mr. Alvarez said, "You look cold. Why don't you come in? I don't have much, but I can offer you a cup of tea." So they went inside and sat on some overturned milk crates, had a cup of tea. The young man kept eyeing the hole in the window. Mr. Alvarez said, "I know you threw the brick." And the young man said yes. And he waited for the anger, and he waited for the punishment, and he waited to be yelled at. And none of that came. Instead, Mr. Alvarez handed him a cloth and said, "You'll help me clean up and sweep?" And the young man said yes. So they worked side by side cleaning up the mess. At the end of that, when it was all done, Mr. Alvarez gave the young man a notebook and a pen. He said, "I want you to write down your thoughts, because people who feel invisible cause problems." Years later, the young man recalled that and often heard the sound of the glass breaking, but remembered also with that sound of the glass breaking, he remembered the warm tea. He remembered a man who didn't punish him for what he had done. He remembered the gentleness and the kindness with the gift of the journal. You see, nonviolence doesn't erase the damage, but it doesn't pass it on either. I share that story because we're talking about Season for Nonviolence. It's an honor to talk about this grassroots campaign to bring awareness to other ways of being, to bring awareness to nonviolent practices, to bring awareness of a need for peace in this world, a need for us to show up differently. Season for Nonviolence was started in 1998 by Arun Gundy and the Association for Global New Thought. They have and on the website, there is some resources that you can use. There's a journal, there's an everyday word of the day. There's a QR code. If you want to take out your phones and go to that site, you can download the journal, you can download the daily word, 64 days of Season for Nonviolence. So 64 days we're invited to practice nonviolence. 64 days bookmarked by the anniversary of the assassination of Gandhi on January 30th and the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. on April 4th. So 64 days that we can practice this and show up differently. The 5 pillars, I even forgot, I have this 5 pillars of Season for Nonviolence are respect, understanding, acceptance, appreciation, and compassion. All in alignment with what we do here at Columbine. I had this note so I wouldn't forget what they were. In the first service, I forgot to read it. It's just a wonderful practice to get into. Yesterday, I went for a run, and I knew the wind was supposed to pick up later in the afternoon, but I missed the opportunity to go before the wind, and it was 24-mile-an-hour wind gusts when I was running. And it didn't feel like gusts. It felt like it was 24 miles an hour with 50-mile-an-hour gusts. That's what it felt like. And I started out, and I felt like I was going in slow motion because it was so hard. And I thought, I'm just gonna turn around and go home and do something inside instead. But I kept going. And I started thinking about the resistance of the wind, trying to move something against this, something that's pushing up against me. It takes a lot more effort. It takes a lot more work. And how is this like nonviolence? It takes a lot more effort and work and practice to use nonviolent means, to use nonviolent ways. It doesn't come fast. It doesn't come easy. When we're going with the wind, anger moves quickly. Revenge moves quickly. An eye for an eye. And going with the current and going with the way that people expect us to believe or to behave and act is much faster. It's like running with the wind. But going against the wind, going against this eye for an eye way of thinking builds muscles that we don't even know we have. It builds muscles like patience and balance and endurance. And here's the thing, the winds will change, the storms will end, but those muscles that we built, patience, balance, endurance, those are with us. Those are with us so that the next time a storm comes up, the next time we're faced with something challenging, we've got those muscles built. We're ready. We've learned. It's a beautiful practice to look at Season for Nonviolence. And today, the word of the day for this season is smile. So you're invited to smile. Smile at least 3 people today. Smile at someone you wouldn't normally smile at. Try it. Now, don't point them out right now. Don't figure out who's that person I don't really want to smile at. I'm going to smile at them. When we use these practices, this way of being, it opens up new possibilities for us that we didn't even know existed. And this year we're talking about, our theme is Year of Possibility. Last week I shared 2 of the premises that having this participatory worldview requires. One is embrace uncertainty. That's from the possibility principle by Mel Schwartz. One is embrace uncertainty, that we have to embrace uncertainty, or we're not going to see all the possibilities available to us. If we're determined to go down a certain road and have a certain outcome, we don't see all the other opportunities that might be available. That's the first one. The second one is realizing our potential. We don't see our potential if we don't try new things. We don't know what we could do. And the third one that I want to mention today is everything is inseparable. This is so in alignment with Unity's first principle. There's too many P words, okay? Unity's first principle is there's one power, one presence. Oneness is our teaching. And oneness says that we are inseparable. There is one mind, one consciousness, one God, one spirit, and we're all individualized expressions of that. So this inseparable, if we could just hold that and live from that knowing, it would change everything. We would see how connected we are to everything and everyone. And how when we hurt someone, we're hurting ourselves. Mel Schwartz says this, in the worldview of inseparability, the distinction between other and self melts away, allowing compassion and empathy to surface as primary emotions. Given inseparability, the golden rule is no longer simply a homily, but a logical extension of oneness. A logical extension of oneness, that we are all one. We are all connected. And if we could live from that knowing, man, it would just change our world. It would change our lives. He goes on to say on the next page, you can't seek to win and relate at the same time. You can't experience compassion, understanding, or empathy if your goal is to outpace others and cross imaginary finish lines before them. The need to be right often precludes harmony and understanding. When we have a view of inseparability, we don't need to do all that. We don't need to feel like we've got to get ahead of everyone else. We're in this together. We're all here together. In The Art of Possibility, Benjamin Zander talks about how, as he grew up, he lived in a Jewish household. They had a dinner, nightly family dinners, and there were 4 kids, and he was the youngest, and the dad every night would start with the oldest and say, what did you achieve today? What did you accomplish today? What did you do today? And Ben said that he would get so nervous because he'd go down the line and his brothers would be achieving great things because success was vitally important to his dad. And so he lived his life, the first part of his life, first half of his life, in this mindset. I have to get ahead, I have to succeed, I have to achieve, I have to do great things, because that's how he was raised. When his second marriage ended, his wife said to him, we need to show up differently for each other. You know, we need a new form. She didn't want to stay married to him because he had put his career ahead of everything. But she said, we need to show up differently with each other. We need to figure out how we can contribute to each other and still stay at a safe enough distance. They had kids together, that we can be ourselves. And he had a second marriage that had failed, so he was all on board with that. He realized that what had cost him, his drive, his need to get ahead. He realized what it had cost him, and he said, I'm going to stop playing the success game and start playing the contribution game. And the contribution game is every night he would ask himself that question, what contribution did I make today? What contribution did you make today or this week? It's a good question to ask ourselves. What contribution did we make? Ben says this, naming oneself and others as a contribution produces a shift away from self-concern and engages us in a relationship with others that is an arena for making a difference. Rewards in the contribution game are of a deep and enduring kind. You never know what they will be or from whence they will come. Think of what contribution are you making? Now, of course, there can be contributions that don't serve. But we're looking at this from what contribution are you making that is uplifting, that is helping, that is serving, that is raising? What contribution? It's a great question to ask. I've been asking myself that since I read that in the book. What contribution am I making? You could ask this at dinner. If you have a family, ask your kids, what contribution did you make today? It could be a great practice to get into. It could be a beautiful way of helping them see that they can make a difference. We all can make a difference, every one of us. Be willing to try. In World War II, in occupied Norway, the Norwegians were not allowed to wear any symbol of their nation. So the teachers and students started wearing paper clips. The teachers would wear them on their lapels or their collars. The students, someone would make bracelets or necklaces with paper clips. See, the paper clip was invented in Norway. And in Norwegian, it means that you're binding, that we are bound together. So anytime someone saw a paper clip on someone's clothing or jewelry, they would know there's hope, that we are in this together. We are bound together. It was a sign of solidarity and unity, and not letting the Nazis take away from them what they had known in their souls, that they were one, that they were one nation. In 1998, there was a middle school in Tennessee, Whitwell, and the teachers wanted to do a project with the kids and teach them about World War II and teach them about tolerance. And so they had this volunteer after-school project. And if some of you remember this, somebody asked me after first service, I've heard this before. I think you've mentioned this before. Yeah, 2017. So I feel it's okay now. It's been enough years. Paper clips. Where was I? So they decided that they wanted the kids couldn't wrap their arms around how many people really got killed in the Holocaust. And they wanted to collect something that would represent each of those people that had lost their lives. And so they did some research, and they found out about the paperclip. They found out that in Norway, people wore paperclips as a sign of unity. And so they decided they were going to collect paperclips. The project took actually 4 years, and they collected thousands and thousands of paper clips. They also got an authentic transport car, rail car, from Germany, one that had taken people to the concentration camps, had it shipped to Tennessee. And in that car, they made it beautiful around with a garden and housed 11,000 paper clips, 6,000 to represent all the Jews that died in the Holocaust, and 5,000 for all the other people that died in the Holocaust. And it was a beautiful tribute to those people. And survivors came when they had their grand opening to this memorial museum. There's a documentary called Paper Clips that you can get on Amazon. You can rent it. I think it's like $4. I watched it in 2017. But I remembered this story because of how powerful it is. That we are one, that we need to remember and honor. So each of you hopefully got a paperclip when you walked in. Does anyone not have a paperclip? Raise your hand. We need some paperclips here. Make sure everybody has one before we start this activity. Don't get scared. Everybody's like, oh, activity. Activity, I just want to sit here and listen. Okay, everybody's got a paper clip. I have a paper clip. Oh, I don't know where my paper clip went. I'll get one later. Okay, I'll take a paper clip, thank you. I want an orange one. Okay, everybody's got a paper clip. Oh, there's one back there, needs one, okay. Raise your hand so she can see where you are, thank you. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We are bound together. So I want you to, not until I say go, find a partner, hopefully someone you don't know. And you're gonna put your paperclip on that ask permission, wear, collar, their name tag, or lapel, something, a hat, wherever they want it to be. And you're gonna exchange paper clips. You're gonna clip each other. And you're gonna look in each other's eyes and you're gonna say, we are bound together. We are bound together. Okay, so go.
You said 11,000 instead of 11.
Oh, you're right. Thank you. I guess I'll put my own on.
Oh wow, use the orange. We
Yeah.
are bound together.
We are bound together. Thank you. Okay, we are bound together. That's all. Everybody, I know everybody wants to chit chat. That's for later. I know. It's okay. It's fine. We are bound together. And I said 11,000. It was 11 million. Some of you probably like, yeah. You knew what I meant. Yeah. So we are bound together. Some of you may have been following the story of the Buddhist monks who started in Fort Worth, Texas, doing a walk for peace. I've been so moved by this. I keep watching videos about it and just sobbing. It's so touching what they're doing. They're walking 2,300 miles from Fort Worth, Texas to Washington, D.C. And everywhere they go, they're gathering more and more people supporting them. They've got millions of followers. And it's such a beautiful thing they're doing to bring hope. And that's what I feel when I watch the videos. I feel hopeful. I see so many of us wanting this world to be a better place, wanting it to be more loving, more peaceful. And that's what they're doing. They're bringing this. So there's a song that was written for this walk for peace, and it's so beautiful. I want us to watch it together and really listen to the words. They're not closed caption, but I think you can really make them out. But let's watch the video.
From Fort Worth to Washington, D.C., a 120-day, 300-mile journey of peace. Buddhist monks walking across America with their loyal dog Aloka by their side, spreading loving kindness, compassion, and hope for the whole world. Step by step beneath the sky, we walk with hope, you and I. Let the anger fade away, let compassion lead our way. Every heart can learn to heal, every wound can slowly seal. In this world of joy and grief, we rise again and walk for peace. Walk for peace, walk for light, walk through day and walk through night. Hand in hand the world will see, peace begins with you and me. Walk for truth, walk for love, guided by the stars above. Let all hatred finally cease, come with me, let's walk for peace. Across the land from sea to sea, a message carried peacefully. A 120-day walk so wide, 2,300 miles they stride. Buddhist monks with hearts so pure, Aloka walking strong and sure. Step by step their prayers increase, calling all to walk for peace. Walk for peace, walk for light, walk through day and walk through night. Hand in hand the world will see, peace begins with you and me. for peace. May all beings live in freedom. May all suffering gently cease. May our footsteps write the story of a world that walks in peace. Through the valleys, over mountains, let our gentle courage rise. Peace is born in every moment when compassion fills our eyes. Walk for peace, walk for light, walk with courage shining bright. Every breath a prayer release for a world that walks in peace. Walk for hope, walk for love, blessed by wisdom from above. Let all sorrow find release. Come with me. Let's walk for peace. Come with me. Let's walk for peace.
Weren't you moved? I'm so moved by that. It's so beautiful. They're walking 20 to 25 miles a day, mindful steps, bringing mindfulness to every step they take. In Season for Nonviolence, we can do that. We can do simple things that make a difference, that bring awareness, if not for anyone else, but for ourselves, because it all starts within our own consciousness. Peace has to begin in us. Think about who in your consciousness maybe isn't safe. Bring peace to that situation in mind first. When you walked in, you probably noticed we have a new hanging back in the vestibule. Maybe you didn't notice it. Can't miss it. It's beautiful. It's right there, straight when you walk out. This is a peace quilt that several of the women here did in 2001. Joanne Kelly, who's now deceased, is a longtime member here, started it, I believe. I hope I'm getting the story right. Some of the women that were on the team. And they all took squares and worked on their squares and then brought them all together. They also sent squares out to get signatures of people, like people that Nobel laureate holders and musicians and authors, Deepak Chopra, Mr. Rogers, Donald Walsh, I'm not saying his name right. I don't know how many, but there's a list of names back there, and people sent them back, and they're all in there with their signatures. They're starting to fade, so we ask you not to touch it. This quilt has been hanging in our conference rooms since 2017 when we added the second phase. And if you have a meeting in the conference room, you've seen it. But if you haven't, the board and the staff and a couple other groups, smaller groups, meet in there, you probably didn't even know we had this. So there's a notebook back there explaining it, talking about it. It's a beautiful symbol. It represents Columbine. It represents our community. It represents that we stand for peace. I want to thank Dave Morden for moving it. It was not an easy thing to do, and Pat Foss for recommending that Season for Nonviolence, we have it out in the open. I think it's going to be permanently there. I think it belongs there. So you're invited, you're encouraged to think, ask, how are you being a contribution? What practices can you take on? Can you try? Can you step out of your comfort zone and allow yourself to be this peace that we want to be, this peace that we want to see? We're bound together, so be bound. Be bound. Namaste. Peace be with you.